Good morning, my dear student friends. Today, let us discuss a fable called The Gentleman of Jungle by Jomo Kenyatta. In order to deal with this fable, I think, or I prefer, it is very much essential to know the creator of this fable. Yes, my dear student friends, it's a fable which was written by Jomo Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta was a Kenyan anti-colonial activist as well as a politician who governed Kenya as the Prime Minister from 1963 to 1964, and then as its first president from 1964 to his death in the year 1978. Friends, this story, or I can call it as a fable, The Gentleman of the Jungle, reflects the attitude of Kikuyu people of Kenya towards European laws and commissions. It was in the late 19th century the European powers divided Africa among themselves. The story begins in a context where an act of kindness was completely misunderstood as weakness. Yes, the story begins like this. Once an elephant made a friendship with a man. One fine day, what happened? One fine day, due to heavy thunderstorm, the elephant went to his friend for a shelter. The kind man offered to let the elephant to put his trunk inside his hut, as he had only one room for him and the trunk of elephant. But this cunning elephant pushed his head inside and flung the man out. The man started to grumble and argue with his friend. When there was a kind of a noisy atmosphere, when there was a kind of disturbance, the lion came roaring. Lion, who came in the sense of roaring, who is considered as the king of the forest, and sought to know why there was disturbance, why there was noisy atmosphere. The elephant replied that he had only been discussing with the friend the possession of this little hut. The lion, who wanted to have complete peace and tranquility in his kingdom, so he commanded his ministers to appoint a commission of enquiry. Yes. Further, the man was pleased by the sweet words from the king of, jungle. From the king of jungle, that is Mr. Lion. The following elders were appointed to sit in the commission. The elders of the commission, namely Mr. Rhinoceros, Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Alligator, the Right Honorable Mr. Fox as the chairman, and Mr. Leopard as the secretary to the commission. But there was no one from the man's side, none of them from the man's side. When he was protested, when he started to protest, he was told that there was no one from his side who was enough educated or well educated to understand the intricacy of the jungle law. He was further assured that there was nothing to fear. There was nothing to fear, since the members of the commission were chosen by the Almighty God and they were endowed with teeth and claws. So they would investigate the case or the matter with greatest care. There would be no bias, there would be no disparity, there would be no social injustice. This is what the king of the forest, Mr. Lion, and the commission of inquiry members, or I can say elders of the commission. Okay. Further, the commission sat to take the evidence. Now it is time to take the evidence. Purave in sense. Okay. Mr. Elephant justified his act, saying that he had always regarded it as his duty to protect the interest of his friend, and that had caused the misunderstanding. Okay. He said that his friend had invited him to save his hut from being blown away by a hurricane. So the elephant, what elephant said now? Elephant said that, the man itself invited him to save his hut being blown away by a hurricane. Please remember, initially the elephant requested for a man in order to put his trunk inside his small hut in order to protect from heavy thunderstorm. Okay. Now what elephant said, let me repeat it again. The elephant said that the man had invited him to save his hut from being blown away by a hurricane. The elephant further said that he considered it very much necessary to turn the undeveloped space to a more economic use by sitting in it. So it justified that, I'm going to protect the interest of this particular man. Friends, further, the elders of the jungle supported what Mr. Elephant had said. All the commission of inquiry, what we say, the elders, the members of that particular commission supported Mr. Elephant. Then the man began to give his account. The man started to give his entire account details in sense. What the process took place, what the thing already happened. Okay, the commission cut him short and asked him if the undeveloped space in his hut was occupied by anyone else before Mr. Elephant assumed his position. The commission said that the space might be occupied by someone else before the elephant assumed his position. The man was completely bewildered. Finally, the commission gave its judgment or verdict that it was not on the expected lines on the man. It was not up to the remark. It was not up to the line in sense. Yes. Further, they concluded that the dispute, the quarrel, what we say, jagada in sense. Finally, they concluded that the dispute had arisen through a misunderstanding due to the backwardness of man's ideas. The dispute took place, or the dispute happened, due to lack of man's vision, due to the backwardness of man's ideas, or I can say it as ideologies. They defended Mr. Elephant's actions, saying that he had fulfilled his sacred duty in order to protect in order to protect man's interest, that is man's little hut. They consider that the space should have been put to its most economic use. So what they are saying that it is a beneficial for human being. As the elephant acquired the position, it had become the more beneficial to the man. But on the other hand, man was completely lost in sense. That is the perspective, or that is the point of view. As man had not yet reached the stage of expansion, they arranged a compromise to suit both parties. They started to compromise both Mr. Elephant as well as Mr. Man. Okay. Accordingly, Mr. Elephant would continue to occupy his hut, where the man was advised to look for a site to build another. So the final judgment or the final verdict is given that, so however, we are going to give you a another small site so you can build there. However, it is occupied by Mr. Elephant. So in order to protect you, my dear gentlemen, so we, the Commission of Enquiry members, what we do is we provide some kind of land, some patch of land or a site. You can construct your building somewhere else. Okay. The man did, as suggested, for he feared the teeth and the claws of Commission. As it was inevitable, so the man agreed with the words of, Commission of Enquiry members as well as the King of the Forest, that is Mr. Lion. So ಅದೇನೋ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಬಡವನ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ದೌಡೆಗೆ ಮೂಲ ಅಂದಂಗೆ. So the man agreed for the words of members of the Commission of Enquiry and followed by the King of the Forest, that is Mr. Lion. But the same fate was awaited as a new hut was built. Again, one man was given some patch of land or a bit of land or a site, and he started constructing there. Again, what happened, it was demolished or it was destroyed. Immediately Mr. Rhinoceros occupied, a royal commission was appointed only to give the same finding. Now it is the second turn or second time. First time it was occupied by the Mr. Elephant. Now it is occupied by Mr. Rhinoceros. Again, the Commission of Enquiry took place or sat in order to discuss the predicaments. The final conclusion or the final verdict was given that we are going to give you some kind of a land so you can construct new hut there itself. This procedure went on till all were accommodated with new huts. This took place with all the animals, whether it is elephant, whether it is rhinoceros, whether it is alligator, whether it is leopard, whether it is lion or whatever. Okay, the same thing took place. Okay, the man by now had decided to adopt an effective method. ಆತ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಏನಾಯಿತು, he need to find some other effective method or effective procedure in sense. When the huts were completely occupied by the jungle lodge, now beginning to decay, he built a bigger and better hut. As soon as the animals saw it, one by one came and occupied the space they found. They soon started to fight over their rights of penetration. The man found the perfect opportunity and set the hut on fire and burnt it to the ground while the animals were all inside. One fine day, all the animals assumed this new hut. The man decided to burn all the animals. He was finally relieved to find peace, which is very costly, but it's worth the expense one. Then what is the symbolism in this particular lesson? What can be the moral of the story? The man who lives in a hut and speaks in an African dialect is a symbol of all African people living under colonization. As the author is basically from Kenya, the man could also be specifically symbolic for the people of Kenya under British rule. The way the man is treated by the animals is a symbolic evidence of author's perception that the many African people were disparated or discriminated against what I am trying to say here, against and exploitation by the British rule and other Western colonization or colonizers. The man's final act of setting the hut on the fire with all the animals inside is the symbolic for the colonized people's fight for the independence from their colonizers. How we, fought for the independence. How we, in sense, how our freedom fighters, whether it is Mahatma Gandhi ji, whether it is Nehru, whether it is Subhash Chandra Bose, whether it is Lala Lajpat Rai, and many other, freedom fighters who fought for the India's independence. Similarly, all the African leaders, whether it is Jomo Kenyatta, whether Nelson Mandela, whether Kenyan people who fought for the complete independence under the, British rule, in such countries. Further, by setting it on the fire, the man implicitly sacrificed that the hut he built. This suggests that the narrator uses this act as a symbol to communicate to his readers that violence and sacrifice might be needed to escape from the colonizers' operation. By this, the story ends. I hope it is understood. Thank you. Have a good day.